Hello, good morning, everyone. So just let me wait one more minute and then we'll start the session. Okay, so I think all of you are able to hear me. Let me introduce first to ourselves who we are, what we do, and all these things. And then we'll go ahead and explain you much more in detail. So we are technology related companies. And this is one of our branch where we are trying to enrich all the related parties, either it is college students or anyone who want to enrich themselves in terms of technology. We train them especially in North America region, Canada, and some part of Europe. Recently, we have started in India also giving training on different technologies. And we are going to teach various technologies in that there will be database, different ETL tools, Python, PySpark, and all these things. Right now, we are organizing bootcamp for all the technologies every week, like it is ETL or cloud database and Python. One of the technologies we are going to train is Databricks, which is very much hot technology going to be next year. This year also, there are a lot of requirements on Databricks, but it's going to be more and more uh, demanding going forward. Okay. So we are running this training program for corporate as well as individual one on regular basis and boot camp for all the guys on open forum we started from last year. You might have attended lot of training program, boot camps and all these, but here at Vani it's very much in unique way where you are going to learn very serious study only 50%. Okay. 50% of the time you have to watch some fun videos or you have to just think in some funny ways so that you will able to understand whatever you are doing, how it's related to normal life. Okay. So our concept is basically 50% serious learning, 50% fun learning, and making 200% effective learning. Okay. So I'm giving training from almost 20 years, and I'm working also in industry and giving training. So first I started working in a college, in engineering college as a lecturer, and then I moved to technologies. So if you will count all of my teaching experience, it's more than 20 years. But prior to that, I was giving training in different subjects in engineering college. Once I joined industry, from that time, after a few years, I started this company. And Samra is going to train you mostly on Databricks, and she has also got very good experience in industry, more than 10 years. Now here we are having one LMS basically. There will be online classes, of course, but we offer LMS where people can go and look into various courses, learn as per their pace, time, comfort level, and all. Okay. And in US, what we do, we generally train on technologies in classroom or in corporate office, and then they apply for the job, or if they need, we help them, or in corporate, if they face any challenges and all, we go there and help them either setting up their environment or if they need any technical help. So if someone want to enrich themselves, you can get lot of facilities on our LMS portal where after each and every topics you will have challenges in the sense you can challenge yourself by attending assignment and exam there. Okay. And there are two process. One will be very much subjective answer you have to write, and one will be objective. So LMS, I will introduce you guys tomorrow, how it looks like and look and feel about all these things. Right now, we are focusing on these technologies, and there will be bootcamp. If you can visit on our different social media platform, you will get information about bootcamp. Now, we just started social media presence from last 6 months because it was kind of closed communities we were training and not giving access to on open platform. But on demand, we have opened the channel and we can train whoever want to come to us. So these are the footprint we have on social media. And social media, we are running a campaign of quizzes on daily basis so that we can enrich whoever want to learn, an enthusiastic learner to challenge themselves on daily basis. So if you will visit on our social media platform, you can keep refreshing your knowledge by attending our various quizzes, as well as some of the tech fun videos. Okay, so you will get lot of explanation in very much effective ways there. If you have some time, just go and either go to YouTube or Insta or Facebook. You will get lot of funny videos where you can laugh and you can learn. Okay. So these are just the screenshot to just make easy for you to find our channel on social media. Okay. So you can just type VAANII Technologies LLC. You will find us. Okay. So if any one of you have any question, concern, you can type your question in chat box. Okay. And at the end of session, we'll go over and give the answer. Okay. So I'm inviting now Samrat to just go over and present. Simran, you can present yourself, who you are, what you are going to do, and you can share your screen. Thank you,
Sure.
guys. I
Thank
will
you.
meet you at almost end of session. I will meet you back. Okay. Thanks, Simran. Go ahead.
Thank you. Let me share my screen. All right. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
All right. Yeah, so let me introduce myself first. My name is Simranpreet Samra, and I am teaching you here for the Databricks. I'm working as a Azure data engineer, and I do have 10 years of experience working with Databricks and as a data engineer technologist. We will be going through the Databricks today, and this is like if you have heard about the Databricks before, it's if you can share your knowledge if you want to introduce something like what do you know about Databricks, what it is about. That will be a good start. Is there anyone who can try?
Yes, one. Basically, Databricks is a platform, unified platform where we can use for data transformation. Basically, we can use for running our PySpark code, and we could do our ETL operation. Basically, it provides us a platform where we can integrate it with Azure cloud, and we can do our transformation of data according to the business.
That's great. Anyone else? So you do know about the Databricks a little bit, like maybe have you worked in Databricks also?
Yeah, I have worked with Databricks, and not recently, like Unity Catalog and all. I have no idea about that, but yeah, I have.
Okay, okay. That's great. That's great. Okay, anyone else? Anyone else, if you know anything about Databricks, maybe you can share your views and thoughts on it. All right, I think not any other volunteers. So let's start. We will be covering few things in Databricks today, and a few of them I think I'm thinking to start tomorrow. Let me just share it with you. Okay, so this is the agenda. My screen is visible, right?
Yes. Yes,
So we
Sandra.
do have the agenda. Yeah, okay. So thanks for confirming. So we do have the agenda for we will be going through Databricks topics today as well as the boot camp is for 2 days. And after this boot camp, you will be able to understand what it is about, what we are learning in Databricks, and what are the features and components we have in the Databricks. Okay. So this is first of all the first thing that we will learn about what is Databricks, the lakehouse architecture, what it is for, what are the features it does have, why it is different from the data lake, other architectures. Okay. Then we will be doing the lakehouse foundation, in which we will study about the data Delta Lake, Apache Spark, ML Flow, which is like your machine learning layer. We do have the Databricks architecture on our agenda for today, and there is Databricks. We will be understanding about the Databricks workspace, which is going to be when we are creating the Databricks itself. We will be seeing that what components do we see on the workspace. We do have the clusters, repos, storage, Databricks SQLs, workflow jobs, right? And then tomorrow, on the second day of the bootcamp, I'm thinking of we will be touching data ingestion. How do we ingest the data? And what are the ways where we keep it? What are the sources we can use for the data ingestion? Data governance, where we will be learning about Unity Catalog, the implementation of the Unity Catalog, and Spark and PySpark. How do we, like, we will do the practical, how can we do the PySpark as a on the notebooks, okay? Then we're streaming data, Delta Live Tables, Delta Uniform, how do we do the deployment through there are many methods to do the deployments, and we do have the latest one as Databricks asset bundles, which is very common practice these days. We will do how to monitor the jobs and log them, the best practices. We will be learning about the optimization, how we can do the optimization in the Spark as well as in the Databricks, okay? Whoever is working in there, they might know the optimization as well, but we will be going through the Z ordering and other practices we have in Databricks. Next is a real world use case. I'll be showing you a project. We will be looking at a project where you know that the Medallion architecture implementation, we will be having 3 layers. And do you know anything about the Medallion architecture? Any of you?
Hello, madam.
Yeah,
Medallion architecture?
yeah, I have an idea about Medallion.
Okay, that's great. Do you want to share it?
So Medallion architecture consists of 3 layers, basically bronze, silver, and gold. So in bronze layer, basically it's a raw staging layer where we ingest the raw data and store there. And in silver layer, we just do transformation like data cleaning and operation. And in the final layer, which is the gold layer, so we implement the business logic over there, and we provide the final data set to the any of the location where the downstream application takes the data.
Yeah, great. So, but there are not only 3 layers, there can be 4 and 5 depending on your project. We can have another one as a platinum layer also after the gold layer, and also like how the data is streaming. It depends like how many tools you are using in your project. So all those things we will be discussing in the project. Okay. So
Madam,
next I have is first of all, yes, is any question here?
yes, madam. Madam,
Yes.
can I know where is this Databricks used?
So Databricks is like, I'll let you know what is Databricks first of all. Where we use is like we are using in the projects. Where are you working? I mean, which tool you are working on before?
So, madam, I am basically a fresher and I am
Mhm.
searching a job in the domain of data analytics.
Okay, okay, that's great. So this is a data analytics platform where you can do your engineering, data engineering. You can do the data analytics also. Okay.
But I didn't know anything about this Databricks, and I came here to know about some
Yeah,
fundamentals
so
about.
Dinesh, see,
Sure.
to learn Databricks, there are some prerequisite. We are going to explain you. So Databricks is basically combination of SQL, Python, and PySpark. Okay. So
But I
it's
know
the
SQL and
very
Python, sir.
What is that, Dinesh? Can you repeat?
But I know only SQL and Python. PySpark, I don't know, sir.
Yes, so if you know that, then it's very good. You have already basic clear. We are going to teach PySpark also in detailed classes. So in this 2 days boot camp, our main goal here is to show you just overview about the tool, how it works. We'll touch up all the components, and then you will get overall idea that okay, what is this tool all about, how much you need to learn, what you need to learn, and if you liked it or not. And then we'll have extensive classes in December, so you can join there. Okay. So here our main goal is to just make you aware about this tool, what it does, what is importance of this, and how you will get benefited out of that. Okay.
So can I understand without any basic knowledge of this class?
Yes, you can understand it if you know SQL and Python.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem. Anyone else having any question? No? Then you can go over Simran, and then at end of
Sir,
class we'll
sir,
go over all.
sir,
Yes.
can I have essay data analytics? I need to train in any other courses also, sir. I learned Excel, Power BI, Python,
Data
SQL only, sir.
analysis, yeah. So basically in Databricks, what we do, we load the data as well as we can generate sort of reports also. But nowadays, a lot of companies are not using Databricks reports. They are using any dedicated tool like Power BI, Tableau, and all these things. So yes, right now, if you have to go to data analytics side,
Yes,
you
yes,
need to
sir.
know this process, how to load data and all these things, and you need to know one reporting tool also. Okay. Databricks having
Yes, sir.
inbuilt reporting or showing trend and all these things, but right now these things are not getting very much used. Databricks is mainly getting used right now for data engineering process. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Anyone else having any question, concern? Okay. So, Simran, let's go ahead. And guys, you can keep putting your questions in chat box. And at end of class, we'll go over of your all of your questions or clarifications. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you. So what is Databricks? It's a unified data and AI platform. So this is like Databricks is a combination of your data and AI platform. So the AI capabilities, how do we use some of the AI tools, that also we will introduce here. And this is built to handle all types of data workloads, mostly for the big data, right? This is we will start it from the ingestion and the transformation to the analytics, machine learning, and real-time processing. It brings together the flexibility of a data lake. If you're aware, data lake is a storage solution on the cloud, and the reliability of a data warehouse. If you are from the ETL background, you might know about the data warehouses. And there is a lake house architecture where the data we organize in the bronze, silver, and the gold layer. So far, 3 layers, but there can be another layers as I mentioned before. So we keep the raw data, clean data, and the business ready data over there. And the platform is powered by Apache Spark. We will learn all of these one by one. So next we have is the key features of Databricks. So the purpose of this class is to get you familiar with all the components, all the features we do have, and what services do we use in the Databricks, and how do we how is Databricks compatible with the other tools. This is a cloud native platform, so we will be using, there should be one cloud, either Azure or AWS or GCP. I'll be using Azure. So we will be looking at like how the Databricks with Azure is working. You cannot use it as a locally, but you need cloud with that. So the key features of the Databricks is like it is a unified lakehouse platform. So data lake is a storage solution and data warehouse. So it is combining both of the features. We will see how does it do that and what is the benefit of that. Delta Lake for the ACID transactions, time travel, schema enforcement. So you will be learning about Delta Lake also. We do have ACID transactions. We will be learning about all those, like how does it time travel, how does it enforce a schema, or if there is any schema evolvement, how does it handle, and for the high performance storage. There are notebooks that we'll be working on, and the notebooks we can have Python, SQL, Scala, and R for the real-time teamwork. So if you have done SQL before or any of the language you are familiar with, just with one API, you can work on the notebooks, and that's all you are doing for the Databricks processing and transforming the data. We do have the Apache Spark's engine that is for our big data processing. So Apache Spark, it's an engine. If you imagine Databricks is like a car, and the under the hood we do have a Apache Spark engine that is processing the data. Okay, the UI is Databricks, but there is an engine which is Apache Spark, and this is a very good tool for the big data processing. Next is we do have a Unity catalog for the governance and the lineage that we will also learn about these features. There is a Databricks SQL warehouses, which is responsible for the analytics. You can have dashboards and BI reporting, all can be done in the Databricks SQL warehouses. Autoloader, that also we will learn for automatic efficient ingestion of the new files. If we get any new files after some time, it can detect those files and it can process the files. So how do we implement that on the Databricks? That also we will learn about. There is another feature we have is Delta Live tables, which are declarative tables. You don't have to do anything, just you have to let the notebooks know that what do you want to do. So it will create the ETL pipelines for you. Okay, that's also a new feature added, and it's getting very popular. We will learn about that as well, and also we will see the practical implementation of it as tomorrow. We do have ML tools which are built in, ML flow for the tracking, training for your machine learning models. How do you train your models, how you track your models, and deploy your machine learning models. All right. And then is the optimization for the performance, for the security, and the cost efficiency. See, every cloud tool is like a pay as you go. So whatever you will use, you will pay for it. Okay, that is the benefit over the on-premises infrastructure to the cloud infrastructure. So we will see how can we optimize the performance, how can we make our tool most cost efficient across the cloud environment, wherever we are using, if we are using with Azure, if we are using with AWS or GCP. All right, any questions so far? All right, so I'm moving on to the lakehouse architecture. What is the lakehouse architecture? So this is a very important feature of Databricks. Lakehouse architecture is like it's a modern way of storing all types of data, structured, semi-structured, and unstructured data. It does have the Medallion architecture comes under this. This is a very important implementation in the data engineering to organize your data. It stores all kind of data, and it acts as a large container where you keep your data as a raw zone, cleaned, which is you call it as bronze, silver, and the gold ones, right? It does have some benefits over the other one, the data lakes and the data warehouses, that we will also discuss about it. Some qualities that we are keeping it, like the ACID transactions we keep, and all those we will learn about that. All right. And also, okay, so we do have the medallion architecture. Medallion architecture is something which comes under lake house architecture. So the lake house architecture is having the properties of both the data lake as well as the data warehouse. Do you understand what is data warehouse? Some of you? Do you have
Yes,
any knowledge about the data lake?
yes, Amra.
No, madam.
No, okay. So whoever knows, can you explain me a little bit? Like, do you want to introduce your thoughts?
So
Yeah,
the
hello, am I
main
audible?
reason,
One by one, please.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah,
Okay. Do you want to share?
hello.
Yeah, do you want to share? Okay, anyways, let me explain about the medallion architecture first. Okay, so the medallion architecture is a lake house architecture. So this is a very important implementation of data engineering. What does it do? It does describe a series of data layers. The layers you can see here, we have bronze, silver, and gold. There is something special about it, about the three layers. So what it is, do you know, does that thing, anyone knows that what is the specialty of the three layers? Why do Databricks prefer, why do Databricks or any, like, why is this infrastructure is getting popular? Anyone knows about that? All right. So this denotes the quality of data. These rows means they denotes the quality of data. In the bronze layer, you have the raw integration. You have the raw data. Mostly it's a source of truth for the data that is coming from your database. Okay. And that is the specialty of the bronze layer. It does have minimal transformations, minimal to no transformations. We just ingest the data, whether it's in batch data or a streaming data. Batch data is which comes in intervals like maybe your data is coming every hour, or maybe it's coming after a day or 2 days. So all this is called as batch data. So we schedule those datas, and the streaming data is the real-time data whenever you are getting from IoT sensors or anything which is delivering the data continuously. That is called the streaming data. So ingestion means like we are pulling the data from our sources. Sources we can have either batch or streaming. They can be different databases. Databases we can have on premises, we can have on cloud. Like you can have Oracle, SQL Server, you can have DB2, or you can have something on cloud, maybe from S3 bucket or from ADLS Gen 2. All of those are the sources we can have and the databases we can have. There can be another sources also, SQL databases, Azure SQL databases, all of those. Like wherever the data is coming from, we will ingest the data in the branch layer. Okay, and we will keep no transformation, we will keep it without the transformations, and then becomes the silver layer. So silver layer again denotes the filtered data and the clean data. So we do have, this is also there, the quality of the data that we have is in the silver, is we keep the data cleaning and the validation in this layer. This is for the data engineers use this layer, data analysts use this layer, because this is a more refined data set, then that still retains the detailed information. Okay, so for the analysis also, data engineers and the data analysts use this layer to get their data. And also, like, we do have the gold layer, which we call as the business level. Like you have your aggregation, so the stakeholders that you are getting the from where you are getting your requirements, they doesn't know about the ETL. They doesn't know like what you are doing with the data, how you are fetching it, how you are transforming it. They don't know the language you have, like the data engineers or the ETL developers. What are the languages they do have? They do not know that. So the stakeholders, the business is looking for some data, a common data model, or maybe aggregations, or maybe the data ready for them in their language. So that kind of data, we keep it in the gold layer. We model the data there in the form of dimensions or the facts as per your requirement. If your project is keeping the data warehousing in the gold layer, so you keep all of those here. Okay, who will have the access for the gold layer? So we can, and other thing that we see is the Medallion architecture, because it denotes the quality of the data. The first one is the raw integration, the raw data, then we have clean data, and then we have the business ready data, right? Also, there is another thing, we keep the ACID transactions all over the layers. Okay, the ACID transactions we will learn about. This is again a very important feature of the Delta Lake. And this is a lakehouse architecture. We are keeping the ACID, we are retaining the ACID transaction throughout the layers of the Medallion architecture. Okay, so there are many things that we keep it in here, and that's why. And also, like, you can always have separation. The separation of the layers will give you different kind of data as well. If you require just the raw data, you can just always go to the bronze and you can gather it. Again, if you have anything, you're doing migration, or you are moving your data somewhere to the gold layer, and there is something happened, you can always come to the bronze layer. That is the source of truth for your raw integration. So you can always go and get your raw data from there. All right. So who take helps from the gold layer? That is the business analyst and the BI developers, the data scientists, and if there is any like machine learning engineers, and the stakeholders, I already have mentioned that. Got it? So we don't do the cleanup or any validation. We perform in the bronze layer. We just ingest the data from the cloud storage, Kafka, Salesforce, on-premises databases, anywhere. All right. And then we have is what else for this? So there are 3 layers, but there can be more layers ahead of that. Also, there can be platinum also be introduced if there is like if you want to do more of the transformations, then you can do that as well. Okay, so next we have is the data lakehouse foundation, which is data lake foundation. Does anyone know about data lakehouse foundation? Anything about it? Have you heard about this word before?
No.
Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to share? Okay, I didn't hear anything from you.
So it's a combination of data warehouse and a data lake, and it bring the extra thing is that the governance layer it adds the metadata layer, so that
Mm-hmm.
differentiate between the data lake. So basically, it brings the best of the both the architecture.
Right. Yeah, so Data Lakehouse Foundation, it's just like introduced lately. So this is the core architecture that will bring together the flexibility of a data lake. Data lake is a simple storage, and the reliability and the performance of a data warehouse, all in one unified platform. It acts as a base layer which will be supporting end-to-end data engineering, analytics, AI, and governance. What is governance? Do you understand what is governance? Do you have any idea what is governance about? Like, why is it very important, and why do we need it? What do we need for the data governance, and why it is important in the data engineering, data analytics? Why does it require? Why do we require it?
Data quality and permissions to use data.
Okay. So data governance is like just like we do have the Unity catalog. That is like there are other data governance tools for Azure, AWS, for other clouds. We do have different tools for the governance. Databricks does have its own, which is Unity catalog. We will be learning about it. It's very important for the implementation of your data engineering on the data. So it does have it manages the data security and the permissions, the lineage and the audits. Do you know, if you know about the data auditing, if you know about the data lineage, permissions on the data, like if you are working in like different workspaces, so there are different teams working on your in your organization, right? So how do they get different teams, like data engineers might they require different permissions to the different containers. Let's talk about the medallion architecture. We do have 3 layers. So all of the company, all of the organization, all the developer teams, they do not require the uh, bronze layer permissions access, right? And also like in the layers, in the bronze or silver or the gold, we do have some folders also, right? So Unity catalog helps us getting the access. The platform team will give you the access for the right containers, right folders, and right layers you have. Whichever data you require, they will give you the access to that only. So that will help you for the data security. Data engineers cannot see what data analysts are doing unless like they are working together. So this is how like different datas having different access, and this is all managed by the Unity catalog. It's very fine grained. Fine grained means like not only the tables, it's on the rows and on the columns, everywhere, like it governs the data. Okay. And there is one place. The main thing with the Unity catalog, with the governance here in the Databricks, is you have one place to control the access and the visibility. What does that mean? That is very important as well. We do have the meta stores, if you have heard about it. So meta store manages all the security things. It will all control the access. Like we can control the access from the meta store. There was a legacy meta store before, which is a Hive meta store, if you have heard about it. Now we have after the Unity catalog implementation, we do have the meta store, which is with the Unity inside the Unity catalog, and you can manage all your workspaces under this. All right. And also it ensures the compliance and the enterprise governance. What does that mean? The compliance is like if you are working in an insurance company, if you are working with pharmaceuticals, you might have some compliance rules that you have to follow. So all of those things we cover under the centralized governance, which is our Unity catalog. Got that? Do you have better understanding now of the Unity catalog and the governance?
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
Right, okay. Do you have any questions on it? Maybe we will discuss the questions later. So let's talk about the Delta Lake. What is a Delta Lake? So Delta Lake is an abstraction layer on the top of the data lake. Data lake, I mentioned before, is a storage layer we have. Data lake with some properties. Delta lake is an abstraction layer on the top of it. Abstraction layer on the top means like the features of data lake will be there, but Delta lake will have some extra features. Okay, what are those features? Anybody knows that? Okay, so this is Delta Lake is an open source storage layer that brings the reliability, performance, and the data management features to your data lake, right? So data lake will be there, but data lake will add some features on the top of it. And those features they are very favorable for the data we are working on. That's why it is getting very famous. And also like we are getting the architectures are working on it, and there are new evolvements are coming, and we are like using those features to work well with our data. All right. So it sits on the top of the cloud storage, whatever the cloud storage you have. If you have ADLS, if you're working on ADLS Gen 2, S3 bucket or GCS, so it is an abstraction layer on the top of it, and turns it into a reliable ACID compliant lakehouse. What does that mean now? That means it has the ACID transaction. ACID transactions is the atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. Okay. I can tell you about the atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability. This is data lake is guarantee it, and this is a very like the feature of the storage layer, so that it helps you keep your data safe, and if you have anything happened in between the data, you can always go back and get your data in the raw form, or like what does it mean? What does the ACID transactions mean? So ACID transaction is the four group. Atomicity is kind of all or nothing. You can just simply, we can explain it as all or nothing. So let's say you are working on the data, you are processing your data is coming from the source and it is going to the target. All right. Transaction, what does atomicity means? These are the features of the data lake. So what does atomicity means? That a transaction must either complete fully or not run at all. That means like if you halfway in between, you are halfway, your processing of the data, something happens and your data got lost. Your processing is not complete. What does it do? It will guarantee that either your the data will be processed fully, or it will go back to its last point where it started from. Get my point? So if something fails halfway, there is no partial data is written. So the data either it's completely processed to the target, or otherwise there will be no partial data. Okay. So for example, if you are inserting 1000 rows, so either all the 1000 rows will insert, or there will be a zero insert. Get my point? Isn't it a good feature? You don't have to deal with the duplicates. You don't have to deal with the like if your data is missing and all. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So next is we have C. C is consistency. The consistency means data must stay valid. That means like after every transaction, data must remain in a valid, correct state, where the rules we have, rules, the constraints. Let me just get that. I do have all those here. So we do have the rules, constraints, and the business logic that should never be broken. It prevents the invalid or the corrupt data from entering the system. That is called the consistency. Consistency will say data must stay valid. Then is the isolation. Isolation means no transaction should interfere with the another one. That means if multiple users can read and write at the same time without affecting each other. Okay. So if two people are working on the same notebook, there will be no interference of both of them. They can like if in the bronze layer 2 people are working, 3 people are working, 3 developers are working, they will not be interfering with each other. So for example, if 2 pipelines are writing to the same table, it won't corrupt each other's data. If 2 developers are working on the 2 pipelines and the data is going to the same target, it will not corrupt their data. Next is the D, that is durability. So durability is once committed, data stays safe. That means after a transaction is committed, the data is permanently saved. Even after if the system is crashed, there is a cluster failure, there is a power outage, doesn't matter. Changes are stored in the durable storage, like any delta log or anything. When we work on the when we work on the delta lake, there is a delta log created. That is another feature of it. Okay. So that is all about the ACID transaction, and we do have the schema enforcement. Schema, do you understand what is schema, guys? Anyone?
Proper structure to the data.
Okay.
Blueprint of
Anyone else?
data.
Okay. So schema is a new name to the database. Earlier we had the databases, now we call them schemas. Okay. So schema enforcement means, if you understand, schema enforcement means like only the data that matches the expected structure or the schema we have. If we have defined the schema, if we define our database, it will be allowed into a table, or otherwise other data will not be entered. Got that? If the incoming data doesn't match the defined schema, let's say you have created one database in your target and your data coming, there is a schema evolution. Schema evolution is like if you have if you have 10 columns coming on the one day and there are 12 columns coming on the next day, what will happen? The data, because you have already a schema enforcement is like you have 10 columns created in your table, the data will not go through because it is not going to accept the coming two columns, right? So if it doesn't match anyway, either way, if you have a wrong data type, if you have a missing required column, if you have extra unexpected column, which we call as schema evolution, Delta Lake will reject it. That means it will prevent the corrupt or any inconsistent data from entering your system. Got it? So why does it matter? Guys, why does it matter? Do you understand, like, why do we need it? One thing I forgot to mention in the Delta Lake also, that it keeps in the Delta Lake also, when we're doing the ACID transaction, it also keeps the DML operations on it. Like you can do your delete, insert, merge. It gives the capability of your storage layer to add all those DML operations on the top of it. Okay. And the schema enforcement, why does it matter? It protects your data quality. Stops the bad data, wrong types, wrong columns before it lands into your table. So you will be like, saving your energy while correcting the data in your data warehouse or your target tables. Got that? Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
Right. Okay. And it also prevents some accidental issues if like, if CSV files going to change order, JSON files, they are adding any unexpected fields. If their API is sending the incorrect formats, all of those will be handled in here. Okay. And reporting. So because this is not going to, like, schema enforcement is helping in all those, there will be, because we have the data is going for the reporting. Let's say your data, like wherever your target table is, you are streaming the data to the Power BI for the reporting purposes or for BIs. So those reports will not break. ETL pipelines don't fail later because the schema enforcement is preventing like your bad data or the corrupt data. Okay. And machine learning models, they will receive the correct inputs in that case also. And also insert, update and merge load, they all works automatically in the Delta Lake. So if there is a mismatch, Delta throws an error. Okay. Right. So, and we have the schema enforcement and evolution. Schema evolution is another very important feature that we handle in the Databricks also. We will talk about it and we'll do the uh, practical implementation. How do we work on the on it, like schema evolution? Which feature works well for it? How can we accommodate the 10, 12 columns instead of 10 columns? Got it? And there is optimization that also we will work on, and this is the foundation of all the lakehouse data. That also we know that we already understand. Next is the ML flow for your ML model life cycle. I'm not sure if you have worked in the machine learning before, but we do have some machine learning features. This is an open source platform for developing your models and the generative AI applications. Okay, so we do have few things on it, and if you understand about the tracking, there are some features like there's a feature store which will automate the feature lookups during the integration and reduces the mistakes. They will train the there is Mosaic AI to train the models or the fine tune your foundation models. Okay, it looks different because might be I'm not sure if you have worked in this before. These might be new terms for you, but they are getting popular these days as well, and this is all the part of Databricks. Okay, there is model registry which is integrated with the Unity catalog, and it centralizes the AI models and the artifacts, model serving and monitoring for your it will serve the automatically capture if you do any request and the responses to monitor and debug all of those, like some of the components of the ML flow that also we will see. And next we have is the Databricks architecture. So anyone knows about Databricks architecture? What is the Databricks architecture denotes? What does we have in there? And see, when you are working on the Databricks, you are having like I'll not be speaking a lot on it because we will create a workspace and we'll understand what do we have when we create a Databricks workspace. All right, so it will be better understandable after that. But I'll let you know a little bit about it, the Databricks architecture. So there are few things in the Databricks that is handled by the Databricks itself. There are few other things which are handled by the user subscription. Okay, so there are two subscriptions we have. When we create a subscription and when we create a Databricks workspace, there are two things that are managed. Some features of the Databricks is under the control plane there is control plane and data plane. So control plane will be handling your web applications, any of your compute orchestration, Unity catalog, queries, and whatever the coding you are doing is handled by the Databricks subscription. These questions are very important for your certifications if you are looking forward for the certifications. So these small things, the theoretical ones, it looks boring, it looks like a lot of terms involved in there, but they are very, very important for your certifications because some sections they cover about the architectures. Got it? So there is another one, customer subscription, which is under the data plane, and it is going to handle few of the things. We will discuss about it as well. Let me show you first. Do you know about the compute, guys? Anyone knows about the compute or the clusters? Okay. So we will be looking at a very, very important thing now. That is the Databricks workspace, which is going to be like the practical thing that you see. So what is the Databricks workspace? When you create a Databricks account on your Azure portal or on AWS or any other cloud, you will create a Databricks workspace. This is the main interactive environment where you do all your work in the Databricks. So what it can be, it will have your notebooks first of all. If whoever has worked in Databricks, they know that what are the notebooks, what are the jobs and workflows, what are the the SQL data warehouse and all those things. Okay, so we do have the notebook environment in there. You can, as I mentioned before, when you are working on the notebooks, you can create and run your notebooks using all four languages. You have Python, SQL, Scala, and R. Either of them, you can successfully work on the notebooks using just one API. Okay. Then is the cluster management. The cluster is your compute is your computer. Okay. So we have three types of clusters. We'll discuss about it. There is all purpose cluster, job clusters. They have different purpose. We have SQL warehouses that is having another purpose for we used it for the BI. Job clusters we use for the scheduled jobs. Whenever you're creating a job, you will get this cluster will be created, and there is another one, all purpose, which is the most the costlier one, and this is called the interactive, which you create, but this again have some configurations that we will discuss about as well. Next is the data management. How do we manage the data in there? Tables and views, Delta Lake files, databases, schemas, catalogs in the Unity catalog, and then the collaboration. How is your team going to collaborate with each other? How do they share the notebooks? They comment in the notebooks if required, your Git repos, and how do you make the folders for organizing your work? Also, we do have the ML and workflows that we have touched a little bit with the machine learning, ML flow, auto ML. And there is orchestration of the jobs. Orchestration means like how you're scheduling your jobs. And there are experiments and model tracking. Okay, so that is all your ML models. All right, so I will see. So this is how my Azure portal looks like when I'm creating a Databricks workspace. You will always, if you have worked on the Azure portal, this is the Azure portal because as I mentioned, this is a cloud native platform. We cannot work on Databricks individually or locally. So what you do, you have two options. Either you can go to the Azure portal marketplace. I'll show you this in practical as well. So you can always create a resource. You can find out the subscription you have. You have the Azure Databricks. You will select the plan in there, and then this, how the configuration you want to describe. So this is your resource group name, if you are aware of the resource group. Okay. There's a workspace name. Mainly this is the workspace name is mainly the place where you work. There is the region you have to select, which is the closest to your region. You can just select that. There are three options for the pricing tiers. We have the premium one, which is the most costlier one, but we need it for some of our features that we are going to work on again. So that's why I have used the premium one. There is a managed resource group name at the bottom that we see. So what happens in that, whenever you create a workspace, so here, whenever you create a workspace, there is a managed group create by default. You can either name it or otherwise Databricks will create it by itself. That will be a different name, but it's better, like I do take the names myself, but this is of admin work. This will be created for yourself already, but you should know that what is the configuration for when we are creating your Databricks notebook, workspace. So this is how it will validate your credentials, and if you have given the information correctly, it will just create it for you. Okay, so this is your workspace. We will be discussing about the workspace. Then we have the Databricks clusters. So what are the clusters, guys? The cluster is the computational resource where a developer can run their data analytics, data science, data engineering workloads. Okay. Do you understand anything about the clusters? Is anyone having any knowledge about the clusters?
So cluster is a group of machines through which our computations of our jobs and our code works on a big data distributed manner.
Yeah, that's great. Okay, anyone else?
Clusters are used for the performance use. We have different types of clusters in
Mm-hmm.
like clustered index, non-clustered index.
Okay, sure. So Databricks clusters, let me explain that. These are the groups of virtual machines. Virtual machines are the computers that run your code, your notebooks, jobs, and data processing workloads in the Databricks. Okay. So what does it do? It does provide the compute power needed for your ETL, for your SQL, for your machine learning, and your streaming workloads. Okay. So what does it do? It runs your Python or SQL or Scala or R code that you will be writing in your notebooks. Okay. Um, I'll show you the notebooks as well. And also it processes a large data sets using the Apache Spark. Apache Spark I already have mentioned. This is the engine under the hood. When the Databricks is working, there is a Apache Spark engine for the big data analytics, and it processes your code. Databricks on the UI, you are writing your code, you are doing you are doing the transformations through the notebooks and all. But under the hood, there is a engine which is processing your data and which is responsible for many things in the whenever your data is processing. Okay, for that we need to create a cluster. So cluster, we do have some topics that we will not touch all of them, but I'll just tell you a little bit about it. There is a cluster configuration that we need to understand how we can create a cluster, and what do we require, what is the functionality of all of the configuration features. And there is a cluster policy that also we will understand what is a cluster policy. There is cost optimization. How do you cost optimize your clusters? I mean, these are responsible for your infrastructure. This is the infrastructure. It will decide the cluster, how you give your configuration. It will decide that how many nodes you are going to provide for a particular job. You are running a job, so it can auto scale this cluster. It can auto scale your nodes is the computers. If you have like a very heavy load you're processing, it can increase the number of nodes. Okay, or otherwise it can auto scale and it can decrease the number of nodes as well. So that is the cost optimization you can do. You can always see the like how every feature of the cluster configuration is impacting your cost. That also we will see. There are cluster types that we already have worked on. I mean, we just discussed about it. Cluster pools and pricing, all we will be like, these are some of the topics in the Databricks cluster that needs to be taken care of. As a data engineer, you need to know that how much it is going to charge you and how can you cost efficient your cluster or your Databricks. Got it? Any questions so far, guys? No questions? Okay. Okay. So as I mentioned before that a cluster runs your SQL code, your Python, your Scala, and your R code, and it processes the large data sets using the Apache Spark. It executes your workflows, jobs, dashboards, ML models. We do have three types of um, clusters. We do have interactive, job clusters, and SQL warehouses. It does the auto scale your it auto scales your add or remove the nodes based on the workload you are going to work on. Okay, there are cluster modes also: standard mode, high concurrency, single node, all of those. So this is where I try to explain a little bit about the clusters here. This is how your workspace look like, right? That we have seen in the last video we have created. So this is how the workspace will be like when you logged into the workspace. Databricks will present a landing page with the unified navigation, and this is that page. Got it? When you create your Databricks workspace, it will land you to this page. If you see on the left hand side, it will provide you easy access to the various data engineering, data science, and the data analytics tools. You can see in the first part, workspace, recents, catalog, jobs and pipelines, compute and marketplace. You can do all your engineering here. There is another one is SQL, and these are also a part of data engineering. Your jobs will be scheduled, your data will be ingested in a different ways. If you have a table, if you have a CSV file, how do you ingest that data, and how would you keep your data safe in the Databricks, and how do you keep your data outside of the Databricks? All of those things we will work here. AI ML is another playground where you can do your experiments, the features, models you can create, all of those that we have discussed in the ML flow. That is that part. Okay. Compute, I have selected here compute, and if you see the compute types that we have mentioned is all you can see on the top here. All purpose compute, job compute, SQL warehouses, all those features, all those types of compute you have in here. Got it? Does it look good? Does it look interactive?
Yes.
There are, and also there are so many things that you can, I'm showing you the Azure one. There is AWS and the GCP also. So you can explore more of these features. How do your workspace, what comes under the workspace, what do you have in the recents, in the catalog, in the jobs and pipelines, all of those things you can see here. Okay, and your AI work also is Genie and alerts and all those. You can always go and work around to find out the features they have. Now, if you see here on the right hand side, we do have the create compute. This is where we can create the compute. Okay, on the left side navigation pane, there are the comprehensive features with the SQL capabilities and everything, and on the right hand side you have all the workspace, your workspace where you work together. Okay, so when we create the compute, what will happen when I click on, this is the workspace, on the top right if you see the Databricks, and on the name icon you can see also on the top right where you can see the some settings. Okay, now when you click on the create new compute, you have the compute name. You can give your compute name whatever you, if you are working in a different workspace, if you are working for a different team, you can always, according to that, you can give a cluster name. Cluster and compute, these are interchangeable terms. You will often hear the term cluster and compute. Don't get confused because they refer to the same thing. Okay, so now see here the policy I have been talking about. We do have few policies here. Sorry, we do have some policies here, and that we will see is like the unrestricted one is the one we do have as a main. Okay, there is a personal compute, power user compute, shared and legacy shared, but all of these are just the, all other policies are the subsets of the unrestricted policy. That means like you have some features out of the unrestricted, all of them, and they made the personal compute, they made the power user compute, shared, and we mostly use the unrestricted one. You can do workaround and see what options are available for the other policies also. Got that? Next we have is the next we have, after this we do have some other features as well that you will see. Machine learning, we do have the machine learning, but if you see on the right hand side guys, you will see the summary of what you have for this cluster. This is by default, I'm just creating it, but it took some default configuration. You will see on the right hand side you do have the summary. It has selected 16 GB memory and 4 cores. So memory, you know what is memory, and the cores means like your how many nodes you have, how many computers you have in here. Data access, so Unity catalog is already enabled on this, right? Unity catalog is already enabled, and I can see that there is Unity catalog in here. Got it? Okay. And also the price, if you see the one I was talking about, the cost efficiency, you can see the price, and you will see going forward, whenever we selecting different features, whether we are selecting the photon acceleration that you can see here, whether you can selecting the Databricks runtime, you are, if you are terminating it after a few minutes or not terminating, how long you are running your cluster. I mean, it depends like how much do you require to process your data, all of those things. And there are few other things on the bottom also. They will decide how much price you are going to charge for. DBU per hour is the unit that we are using here for the prices. Okay. And going forward, I let you know, if you are selecting the machine learning, there are some features here, like it will enable the Databricks runtime. You can always go to this and you can see like what is mentioned for your different features in the cluster configuration. Okay, I'm not selecting the machine learning, I'm not going to do it. Then there comes the Databricks runtime. What is a runtime now? See, if you see, the units we have taken here is LTS. LTS means long-term support. Okay, so it is always advisable to select the latest LTS, because this Databricks runtime is pre-packaged image. That means like when you are selecting 16.4 LTS, Scala 2.12, Spark 3.5.2, that means it comes with the all of the different Spark versions, like these ones, whichever you have selected, Scala and Python and all other necessary libraries, plus all of the fixes for the bugs, all like this is a kind of version you have. Okay, so once we select the version, it will the image would be default installed on your cluster on the workers and the drivers, so you don't have to worry about the different type of library installations in order to work. So whatever comes with 16.4 LTS, it comes automatically when you are selecting this. Next comes a node type. So node type is like you have a worker type and the driver types. This comes under the architecture. We will learn about this as well. So if you have the worker type node or the driver node, there is one driver, others are the workers. The driver node is responsible for distributing the work to the driver nodes. Okay, and what you have is like if you are like, let's say your data requires 4 nodes, so it will distribute your data parallelly to the 4 nodes, and it will start working. The 4 nodes, the 4 computers will start working, and this is called auto scaling. If you require more than that and your cluster is having that capacity, it will be able to handle those kind of data. Okay, so these are all the worker types we have. We do have the single node as also the multi node. If it's a single node, means like you have only one computer, and if it's a multi node, if you won't select the single node, it will come as a multi node. That means like you have 2 computers, 2 worker nodes, 3 2 worker nodes and 1 driver node, maybe like that. So this is minimum you can have 1 computer, maximum you can have 8 computers. This is what the configuration I have selected. Enable auto scaling. You can always go to the toggle bar and see that what does it do. Enable auto scaling means the auto scaling that I just mentioned, that it depends on your work. It will give you more computers. Maximum here we have is okay, so this is I just don't want to let you know this. Let's discuss about this as well now. So if you see here, minimum and the maximum, I have 8 computers. If I have any node, any workload I will get, I will just be distributing it under the 8 nodes, maximum 8 nodes, and minimum I can keep the 2 nodes. Got that point? This is little bit practical. When you will start working on it, you will be understanding what are these means, the nodes and all. Okay. So if also like you seeing here, this account may not have enough CPU cores to satisfy this request. That means like in your region, you do not have that much quota for your compute. So you can always raise one request, which is like there is a form that you need to fill up, and you can always request a more quota about it. Next is the auto scaling. You see, this one is fine. So this is you can see here driver type we already have covered. Yeah, the notebooks. If you have in your cluster, if anything is in here, you can always have the notebooks attached to it. If you have any notebooks, I have already created the compute. Now it's started to, it's already have started, but it takes some time to start. So it will take some time, like maybe 5 minutes to create your cluster. And until then, if you see here, we do have the notebooks. We do have the notebooks. If we are attaching any notebooks for this cluster, you can see here there are libraries. If there are any libraries, event logs, you can see the event logs, whatever you have done with the cluster. When did you start, when did you terminate it, you have restarted it, whatever you have done, all the logs you can see here. Next is a Spark UI. It's loading because the cluster is not created yet, so this may take some time. There are driver logs also. That means like whatever you have done, your jobs have done. Whatever the jobs are done in here, all the descriptions, everything like when what is submitted, how much duration does it take. So if you see the latest one, you have one job ID and there is a description about as well. And also it will give you the timings, how much does it take. It took the 4 seconds of duration and everything stages succeeded one by one. That means it shows that how did your job completed and what were the stages it handled on. Okay. Next you have is the driver logs. The driver logs, if you see, they are also not existing because the cluster is not created yet. You can see all those options after that. Once the cluster is started, you have the matrix also, you how much is your CPU utilization, your network received and transmitted, your memory utilization, whatever is like your job is doing under the hood, everything is here. How is your data processing, like everything you can see in here. The apps is not available, and we do have the Spark compute, that also is not because it's not connecting as the cluster is not started yet. Okay, so all of these are the cluster configurations. And also in the event log, you can always select and find out like what you are looking for. Okay, so there are those options as well. Your runtime information in the Spark UI, this is available now. So in the Spark UI, you can see the Spark version, which version you are using, and whatever your notebooks has done, all of those things are here. I'm good with this. These are the data frames. Whoever has done Python, they know what are the data frames, right? I forgot the name of the person. I think we're good with the cluster configuration. Do you have any questions, guys? Guys, any questions so far?
No.
No questions. Okay. So then we move on to the Databricks notebooks, and that is the last topic I'm covering today. So Databricks notebooks, we are again at the same place in the workspace, and when we click on the, we will be looking at the notebooks. So you will select the plus sign, and there will be a notebook is created. And now you will see here few things you will see here. If you see, I just select on the code cell and I have written some, see here, 1 second. Yeah, so this is the markdown we have. Markdown is like you can write any text here and you can mark it down. You can make it a heading. If you're working on a different code cells, then you can just write it down as a heading. Like you can bold it, or maybe you can, highlight your text in here. Like for example, you are creating or you're working on a query, you can always write it down with the markdown. Okay, then you have the Python, which is the default language in here in the notebook. You do have the SQL, Scala and R. So you can, there are magic commands that we will discuss later tomorrow. With the Python, SQL, Scala and R, all these languages can be used by selecting here, or there is a percentage, there is a magic command as percentage. So you can write down percentage SQL in the beginning and it will convert your code into the SQL. You can write your code in the SQL. And how will we see that data? How will we analyze that data? That we will see later on. Okay. So this is how we are going to write down the queries. So you see, you just have to select the code cell and there will be a new code. I'm doing a markdown here for what I'm going to do the query. So I'm just querying a table to get the top 20 records for the product name. Okay. So how many of you are familiar with SQL? See, this is just with the percentage SQL. You can just write down a query with the select statement and you can query your data. All of your data will be here, right? And also, like if I'm querying the what I require for like the top 20 records, that also I can just generate. I can just write down the query and I can find out the data with that. Similarly, we can likewise, like we do have the Python, Scala and R. Whoever is familiar with those languages, you can just go here, write down the percentage Python or your Scala or R. You can just change the language as per your requirement and then you can search for it. You can write down your code as well. All right. So this is all I wanted to cover for today. And do you have any questions, guys? How did you feel about Databricks so far?
Very fast, right? The things are going very fast, right? So
The
to
things are
grab
going
that,
very
yep,
fast,
yep.
as in, like,
Yeah, I'm new to this data break. I am trying to understand the concept, right? So
yeah, so this is just a boot camp. Boot camp is like because we have to introduce everything, and that is in 2 days. So I'm just touching it. When you will see this is already live. If you want, you can go through the recording again, and you can try to understand. So here I have to cover few topics that needs a little bit of speed, or otherwise we cannot be cover it. Like this is not a class, right? In the class we will cover one topic each day. Like in one class we will be covering one topic. Here I have to cover 10 topics, so that you can get familiar with the Databricks. So this is not a class, this is just a boot camp for to get familiar with the tool, to get understand a little bit of understanding what do we have in there. Got my point?
Yeah, thank you, Simran. And
yep, thank you.
see, guys, all of you are going to get idea that what are things we can do here in Databricks, what option you will get, and how much flexible tool is, how much important it is for your career path going forward. Okay, this bootcamp is very much free. You can just attend, watch, get some idea. And if someone want to join extensive course that we are going to start in December first week, so all of you will get notification. And if you follow us on Insta, YouTube, Facebook, anywhere, so we publish the date, time, and all these things there. Okay. Priyanka is the admin. You guys can try to reach her anytime, and she will give you idea about all the upcoming courses. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me take some more questions here. Yeah, you can do internship also with us. We provide real-time projects, which will give you very much ease in your career if you are freshers. Even if you have experience in IT industry, you can do real-time project with us to get insight into the tool about real-time world, like what exactly we do in real-time world. So we decide the domain on which domain the project will be for that particular cohort, and based on that we go over. So we'll wish to see you, all of you, tomorrow. But just a request, if you have came to know about us through YouTube, please subscribe Insta channel also. Vice versa, if you came through Insta, you can go ahead and look into our YouTube channel. There you will get a lot of quizzes, okay? And that will boost up your knowledge, your chance in getting selection, and about insight about any of the technologies, either it's database, Python, Databricks, Azure, ADF, and all. We publish quizzes on daily basis on multiple technologies. Okay, thanks all of you guys for joining, and we'll see you tomorrow at same time and on same link.
What
Thanks everyone.
what will be the fees for the main course?
For Databricks, you can contact Priyanka. It depends everyone's knowledge. So see, if you want to learn Databricks, prerequisite is you should know SQL, you should know Python. And if you don't know, you have to learn first these technologies before learning Databricks. So if someone need to know these basic technologies and then they want to learn Databricks, for them it's different structure, different batches. And if someone knows suppose SQL, they don't know Python, and they want to learn Databricks, for them there is different batches. This batch, the Databricks, we assume that whoever is going to join this one directly, they must be knowing Python and SQL. Okay, so you can get more insight about which cohort is going to start. Priyanka will give you much more detail about that. Tomorrow, I will showcase you our LMS, which is very much user interactive, as well as anyone can do self-learning and they can challenge themselves at LMS and judge their knowledge. And we'll show you detailed courses about Databricks. Apart from Simran going to train you on multiple topics in Databricks. Any other question, guys? Any one of you? Okay. Thanks, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.